Hello and welcome to Kimberly Scott Science. Today we are going to be talking a little bit about how to differentiate your experiments for multi-grades and even in the classroom for different abilities. So I'm going to share a little bit of the technique that I do, and there might be times that I turn the lights off just so you can see the demo I'm going to use. So I really love to differentiate. It's really going to help the science lab teacher save some time and money on planning because you can have several grades do the same experiment that week. It's also going to help your students to really focus on the concept and the phenomenon that you are teaching so that the readability is not too high for them and that the writing is not too high for them because the experiment is the show. That's what we want them to focus on and those concepts. We don't want them to get too overwhelmed in the classroom. We also want to be able to revisit concepts later on so that you can do an experiment in kindergarten, later doing it in third grade, and later on do it again in fifth grade and have it be transitioned and changed. So I do cloud in a bottle with kindergarten just to teach them that clouds are made of water and that you need dust to make a cloud. In third grade, we get into clouds and we do the same experiment with some adjustments, but we start talking about how pressure and temperature affect cloud creation. In fifth grade, we get a little bit more in depth and we start talking about cloud formation and lake effect snow, and we talk about how areas where there's lots of factories, how does that create more clouds. So it's a great way to revisit those concepts and to help the students to relearn those things that they might have forgotten and build on the stuff that they remember. So it's just wonderful. It's also fantastic to have different versions of your experiment with these modifications so that you can have homogeneous groups. So that way you can have a group that maybe is only ready for 2 changes and they go and do that experiment. A group that's ready for 3 changes. Maybe you have another group that's ready for 4 changes or more trials. You can divide them up into these groups, still the same concept that you can gather at the end for that science discourse so that you can have a very good discussion at the end. So we're going to get started and I'm going to show you step by step the process that I use for coming up with my experiments. I want you to be able to see my jars here. So the first thing you do is step 1 is you decide the concept that you want to teach, that science phenomenon you want to do. So you can see here that I have glow sticks. So I want to do something with glow sticks for my chemistry unit. So I want my kindergarten and first graders to just learn the basics of a chemical reaction and that a change happens and we get some light. And I want my next grade level, second and third grade, to learn about how heat can speed up that chemical reaction and that what is going on in there with the little glass tube inside the glow stick and the 2 chemicals that are happening and the several reactions that are going on. And in 5th grade, we're going to expand that a little more with more trials and really talk more about those chemicals and the reactions that are happening. And that would be for the 4th and 5th grade. So I've got my concept down. Then I get to step 2 and I say, okay, well, I know I don't just want to hand them a glow stick. I don't want it to just be a demonstration and we crack it and we look at it and we talk about it. I want to change something and I want to measure the effects of that change. So step 2, I'm going to come up with what I'm going to change. So here I've decided I'm going to change the temperature of the water because I know that's going to change how bright these glow sticks are. And in kindergarten and first grade, you want to keep your change to a with or without, a this or that, big or small. So in this case, kindergarten and first grade are going to do cold water and they're going to do hot water. So I have some hot water here. Just the 2 changes, it'll give them a very nice comparison. So I'm going to show you my glow sticks here and turn the lights off a little bit, or at least turn them down. So you can see, I don't think this one's glowing too much anymore. There it is in the hot water and you can see the nice glow. Kindergarten, you're going to have them do cold and hot water. Then you get up to your 2nd and 3rd grade experiment. 3 changes. I'm going to do cold, room temperature, and hot water. And they're going to do the 3 changes. 5th grade, do the 3 changes and add more trials, or add a 4th change and maybe throw in warm water with that. So you can already see here, that's glowing a lot brighter. And you can already see here, this cold one has already gone dimmer. This is the side that's been in the water. And the hot is brighter. Such a wonderful change for kindergartners to be able to see. And then you can even compare here that the blue is glowing a little bit brighter than the one that's in the cold water. The yellow is glowing brighter than the one that is in the room temperature water. So a great change that the kids will notice. So you come up with the changes for each grade level. Then you have to measure that change. So for measuring the change, I'll keep it dark here. I'm going to come up with a ranking system. So my kindergartners keep the ranking system really simple. 0, no glow. 1, some glow. 2, glowing a lot. So I'm going to give this glow stick a 2. That part that's in the hot water is really glowing. And I'm going to give this one, there's a little glow, maybe I'll give it a 1. It's glowing a little bit. And they're just going to rank it that way. Then you're going to have your second and third graders change their rank. Turn on my light. Your second and third graders are then going to up their rank, and they're going to do a 0 to a 3. So 0, no glow, 3, the brightest glow. And I'm also going to keep for fourth and fifth grade that same concept, 0 to 3. It doesn't really matter. A lot of times your second through fifth grade are going to measure the same thing. Kindergarten and first grade measurements are a little more observation based and counting based. And then as you get to second through fifth grade, you can do all sorts of kind of measurements with them because they have more of an understanding of that. So then you have your experiments there. Your whole family could do that experiment all at the same time. The kindergartner is off doing their rank. They've got their cold and hot water. They can share that with the other kids who also have a jar of warm water, so you can conduct it together. Then you're going to want some sort of formal write-up for them to follow. So you're going to need to write that down. I like a formal write-up for them to follow. It really helps them, and then we can refer back to it. If you are looking for a template, just head to Kimberly Scott Science on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I do have my distance learning journal that you can print for the classroom, or you can also send it through Google. So if you send it through Google Classroom in your classroom learning management system, parents could do that experiment at home with their kids, and then you could kind of modify and follow them along with that. So there are 3 versions in there if you would like a template instead of having to write it out all on your own. So when I do that, kindergarten and first grade, it's going to have check boxes. So you're going to see check boxes for them to mark. Then when you get up to the second grade, it's going to be more word banks. And when you get up to fourth and fifth grade, they've moved all through the program. They're now doing more writing it out completely. It's going to be more black. For kindergarten and first grade, the graph is going to have the boxes right there, and they can just color up the boxes. Second and third grade, I remove those and they start writing more of the labels, and they're making in their own bars. Fourth and fifth grade, it's almost a blank graph for them, depending where they are at, because we have worked through that. And again, in the same classroom, if you have some kids that you know are not ready for that fourth and fifth grade journal, do the second and third grade journal where the graph is more completed for them. And then the summaries is, again, check boxes for kindergarten and first grade, and then maybe a little 1-sentence summary that they write about what happened. Second and third grade expands a little bit, fill in the blanks. Fourth and fifth grade, they're having to write it out a lot more. And then there you have it. You've got 3 different experiments about the same concept, differentiated experiments. Kindergarten and first grade are going to be testing today, cold and hot water, to see how it affects the brightness of glow sticks. You go to your third grade class, we're doing the same experiment today, but they're going to test cold, room temperature, and hot. You go to fifth grade, and maybe that experiment's going to take 2 weeks. Maybe you are a K-5 lab teacher, and you only see them once a week. Maybe that experiment will take 2 weeks because they're going to perform 3 trials. And it's going to save you so much time in your planning. It's going to let the students take the lead on their learning. It's going to make what used to just be a demonstration an experiment, and it's going to make it so much more memorable and unforgettable for them. And you're going to have a great time. This experiment is great because it doesn't have a lot of mess. So it's a nice one to start with. If you're conducting it through virtual learning, you can do the experiment and darken your room where you're doing the video, and the kids will enjoy seeing the difference in the glow. You can also provide them with some glow sticks if you're giving them a student at-home packet. Maybe they can get some on their own, conduct it, and maybe they want to do it later by themselves and send the journal to them virtually. And that's another way to do it. And in the classroom, it's a lot of fun. I love it for Halloween. I always make sure with the glow sticks to talk afterwards about what if you accidentally crack your glow stick but you don't need it for a couple of hours. Stick it in the freezer. It's going to slow the reaction down, and then you can pull it out later from the freezer. And my kids are known for doing that when we go camping. If you would like a pre-written version of this, instead of having to write your own, I have done that for you. So again, head over to Kimberly Scott Science on Teachers Pay Teachers, and you will find my glow stick journals, and I have all three grade levels done for you. Be sure to check out KimberlyScottScience.com, where you can get links to my blog and the link to my blog on here. And I have it all written out for you, all the steps to follow in writing your own experiments. So taking those demonstrations, making them into experiments, and tips for how to differentiate it for those grade levels. And it really does help that science lab teacher, because I know some days I'm teaching 5 different concepts in a day, and that's a lot for my brain to handle. So it's really nice to know that at least 2 or 3 of my classes that day are doing the same concept, just in a little bit of a different way. So have a great time creating an unforgettable science experiment for your students.